Hi, West Babylon, and happy ThursD.I.Y. On this Thursday, we will be creating a palm tree sunset painting. For this project, you do need a sponge brush, you need a small and a large paintbrush, you also need a canvas, your handy dandy red solo cup of water, and 7 paint colors. You need black, white, yellow, orange, red, purple, and blue. All right, so let's get started. So we are going to hold our canvas this way, and we're going to start with our lightest color first on our sky. So for a sunset, it's a gradual change of color. So we're going to start with our lightest color first. So about 3/4 up on the canvas, I'm going to start with yellow. And now I will say with these paints, they're very thick. So if you have a craft kit from the library, it's a thick paint. So if you feel like it's not going on very smooth, my suggestion is to put a little bit of water on your brush. Okay, so we've got some yellow in here. Make sure you wrap it around on the sides of your canvas. Okay. It's going to take a second, that's okay. This is for when you hang it. You want to be able to put it up on the wall and not see the white of the outside. So now I'm going to start adding some orange in. And I'm kind of globbing it and then just brushing it out. I'm going to bring it down a little too. And I do like the streaky look, so I'm not going to overblend. Just make sure I take it out to my sides. Okay. Just bring it down a little bit more into my yellow. All right. Now we're going to go in with our red. And it's okay that we're not cleaning our brush off because I do want the colors to blend in with each other. Make sure you wrap it on the sides. I do have to be a little gentle because the easel I'm using is a little bit thin. I don't want it to fall. Alright, so now we have our red on. I'm going to bring the red up a little bit more. So about here. Make sure you get your corners, your outside. Okay. Now I think there's a little too much red, so what I'm going to do is take some orange now. Going to add some orange in. Open this red. Yellow. Tone it down a tiny bit. Okay. I'm going to rinse my brush. And now I'm going to come in again with my orange. And I'm going to bring the orange up on my canvas. This is just going to help blend it in to make it more of a gradual progression of the red. And like I said, it's okay if it's a little streaky. There we go. Now we're going to go in with our purple. So I'm going to keep my brush, the brush I have. And now I have my purple paint. I'm going to come in with my purple up on top. Color in this entire top. That includes the top of my canvas and the sides of my canvas. It's nothing like being on a beach at sunset. Fortunately, we're on Long Island, so I don't think we're going to be seeing any palm trees, but we can dream. It's the beauty of art, it takes you places. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit more purple on now. I have my outside covered. And bring it into my red. And just gently drag it down into the red. Drag my red up. Alright. And we'll take a tiny bit more purple and just go over it a little bit more. Show a little more of that true purple pigment. And there we have it. So that is our sky for our sunset. So I'm going to now move down into the ocean portion of the painting. So I'm going to come in with a sponge brush and add a tiny bit of water to it to help my blue spread. And with my blue paint, I'm going to do the entire bottom of my canvas. And I'm only adding a very little bit of water. I like that the paints, I like how thick the color is and how pigmented it is. You do want to get a straight line, so I usually start at the top. Okay, come all the way. And now, if you don't get a straight line at first, it's okay. You can correct it. I'm going to take a step back and see if I like my line. All right, so it's a little crooked. Okay, I'm just going to come up here and just drag my sponge brush across. Okay, and then I'm going to fill in the rest. Just feel like it's still a little crooked. Now I'm just filling in all the white with the blue. Now, something that I'm not going to do that I suggest you do is also take this blue onto the bottom portion of your canvas down here. I'm not going to do it because I don't want my canvas to fall. I want you to be able to see the finished product. I don't want it all over the floor. All right. So just as you would get the bottom, also make sure you get your sides. And I don't know if you're noticing, but every time I do any colors on my background, I'm always putting the brush in the same direction. It's always going back and forth horizontally. Okay. Let me get my other side here. Just double check it now. Alright, I like the way my line came out. So now, the next thing I'm going to do is my clouds. So once again, I'm going to get a sponge brush, and I'm going to come in with my yellow. And with my yellow, I'm just going to dab. I'm going to always hold my brush straight like this, and I'm literally just dabbing yellow on. And then I'm just brushing it in a little bit. And I'm going to do that wherever I want a cloud. So I'm going to just dab my yellow on, bring it up. Some of them I want off the canvas because we want it to look like a sky scene. And this is just a snapshot, so of course some things are going to be off the edge of the paper. So just dabbing in my clouds. I think another one right here is good. Some happy little clouds, they're nice and sunny colored. Make some smaller than others. I like to put a couple little dashes just to show the semblance of the cloud, but it's not a full cloud. All right, let's come up in our corner here. sunny, bright yellow clouds, but we're not done. So now I have a little yellow on my brush, and while I have the yellow on my brush, I want to do the reflection of my sun. So I'm going to just take my brush and just make little lines in the middle of my canvas with just the tiniest bit of yellow. And this is going to be the reflection of the sun going down on the water. Also going to take a tiny bit of orange and just throw that in as well. And I like to make it a little bit wider at the bottom. Take a tiny bit of red too. Alright. And there we have our sun's reflection. Now I'm going to get a smaller brush and I'm going to show you how to add the white in for the highlights on the clouds and on our sun. Okay. So now I'm using a smaller brush. It's the larger brush if you have a craft kit. This is the larger brush in your pack. So we're going to take our white and we're just going to dab it in a little bit on each cloud. And this is just breaking up that yellow and showing that it has the whiteness of the cloud there. I also think it adds a slight bit of dimension. So they're not just boring clouds, they got multiple colors, they have personalities. Good. Great. So I'm going to rinse my brush and now I'm going to do the actual sun. It is good to have a paper towel on hand. Okay. So now our sun is literally just a circle in the middle of our canvas. So I figure out where the middle of our canvas is. It's just a half circle. Just make a half circle shape and I just fill it in. And now you really want to make sure that the canvas is dry for this because you don't want to drag any of your colors like your yellow or your blue into it. Adding my white in, bring it down to the blue line of the water. Actually, I think I want it a little bigger. So now what I'm going to do is just larger semicircle around. And that's the beauty about painting is that you can kind of figure it out as you go. It doesn't have to be perfect right away. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. It's really your interpretation of the subject you're painting. You know, if I want to paint my dog as a blue dog, why not? Alright, and there you have it. There's your sun. And now with the residual white I have on my brush, I'm going to come in and add a little bit more white into my water for the sun's reflection. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, and there we have it. So now we have our sky painted, our sun painted, and our water painted. So we're going to come in with our black and do the silhouettes of our palm trees. So with the same brush you would have just used, we're going to dip our brush into the black, and I'm creating land masses on the side of my canvas. I want them connecting, so I really am just making this cool little like squiggly line into the corner of my painting, and then I'm filling it in with black. Once again, make sure you go all the way to your edges. All right. And you can see we now have one landmass in our corner. Like I said, I'm going all the way out to my edge, and I'm going to make a bit of a longer landmass on this side. And the reason we're doing it black is because it's a silhouette. It's great when you're doing paintings with silhouettes because it does give you the opportunity to not have to put so much detail in. You just put the outline of it. And like I said, it's a squiggly line, and then we just fill in the rest. All right. Wonderful. So now we're going to come in, and now if you have a craft kit from the library, you may have a pencil. With that pencil, you could trace out your palm tree, or if you're brave, you could just go for it. So I'm going to pretend that I'm very brave right now, and I'm going to just go for it, and I really hope that this works. So with the black on our brush, we're going to take our brush and draw this curved line up. And then I'm going to just follow it again. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because trees, they aren't perfect. All right. Here we have it. I want it a little taller, so I'm just going to come up a little higher. And you want it thinner at the top and thicker on the bottom. All right, so I went over it a couple times and I'm happy with it. So now I'm also going to come over on this side and I'm going to do the same thing. Line. Okay. I want it a little thicker. So I'm going to come up from the bottom and add a little bit more black. All right. So now we have the palm tree themselves up, the trunk. Okay, so our trunks are up. So now before I do anything with the leaves, I put my coconuts in. So I literally just take a glob of black with my brush and I create this circle shape in the middle. Okay, I'm going to do that on this side as well. Okay. All right, I'm happy with those coconuts. So now I'm going to clean my brush off. I want my brush to be flattened. So if you can see, I flattened my bristles. And now I'm going to take a little bit of black on the tip of my brush. Remember, I flattened it. And I'm going to draw skinny lines out from the base. Okay? And I do about 6 per tree, so I'm going to do this a few times. All right. And now on each one, my brush, which is nice and thin, I'm going to create little swish shapes on each of these lines. And these are going to be the palm fronds. And each one is going in the same direction. For the sake of time, I didn't let my canvas dry as much as I should have. So I'm getting more of a muddy black. You'll get a true black if you wait between the background and painting the trees. Okay, I'm going to come back in and do my little swishy shapes on my next one. Kind of like painting hair. The hair is actually leaves. Now we're going to go on to the next one. Once again, I'm painting these little flippy round shapes off. What I do on one side, I do on the other. Bring it over this way now. And down this one as well. so now I have my fronds on, and I don't like how my coconut got a little muddy, so I'm just going to come back in with my black and just repaint my coconuts. And there we have one palm tree. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we draw these lines out from our palm tree. Now, unfortunately, they are overlapping. I did do them a little closer together. If you don't want them overlapping, that's okay. You can just space out your tree trunks further apart. All right, so now I'm coming in again with my brush, and I'm adding my little palm frond hair to each of these little lines. Remember, I am also keeping my bristles flat. Here. Same thing on this side. Keeping my bristles flat. I'm just creating my little hair shapes, our little flips of the brush. And now we're going to do it on the last one too. Alright, so now we have our two palm trees. I do want to fix the coconuts on this one as well. I also just want to come down and just touch up my trunk. While I'm here, I'm just going to make sure that where I put my landmass is, I also put black on the outsides. This side, just going to touch that up. So I'm blocking the camera, so I'm right out of your way and you can see. Alright, so there we have it. We have our palm trees. And now, this is my favorite part. With my really little brush, I'm going to come in. I'm going to add a little bit of white. And now where I'm going to do that is where the sun would be hitting the palm tree. So on the side of this palm tree that it would be hitting is here. Adding a tiny bit of white just to delineate. Okay. Then I'm going to just take my brush off, make sure that there's only white on my brush. Okay. And we do the same on this guy. Highlight. Great. And I also want to put a little bit of highlight on my landmass. Alright. Also one tiny one on the coconuts. Alright. And there we have it, our palm tree sunset painting. I hope you enjoyed painting with me this week. We do have upcoming craft programs, so if you've gotten a craft kit from the library, take a look inside your craft kit. It'll show you all the programs we have coming up. The next one we'll be doing is a Stone Family Campfire Candle Holder. It's a bunch of cute little stones at the campfire, and I'm really excited to do that craft with you guys. With these finished products, we would love to see what you've created at home, so please tag us in any photos you take that you post on social media. We really would love to see them. So thank you again. Happy ThursD.I.Y, and I look forward to next time. Take care.